Hey, hello, this is Isaiah 40 verse 8 and I'm trying to do some videos on comments that have been made on some of my videos. And the video I'm referring to now is called Supreme Court Decision to Reverse Roe v. Wade. It's like Pilate washing his hands. So we're going to look at the comments that are on that video. Okay, and you can see the comment comes to you from "This place is ludicrous." I am reminded of stories in the Old Testament where Father had all women, men, and children and animals destroyed in certain conquered locations. Now that would be a reference to the Old Testament to utterly destroy the Canaanites. And I believe I did a video on that. That the reason we're seeing so much deception, lies, and abominations are because the Canaanites were never destroyed. Joshua and his army never really completely carried out that order by God the Father, or Yahweh, Old Testament. I perceive these areas are bringing forth abominations, so Father wanted all life destroyed. Maybe these abominations are trying to manifest again, and our government wants them to bring them into being and not have them aborted. Just a thought. The matrix is evil that way. And again, that comes from the individual. This place is ludicrous. So I do want to thank you. This place is ludicrous for your comment. And I do want to say that I think you have a pretty valid point. So before I get to what I wrote, I want to go to my new thoughts on this. And to do that, we've got to go into the etymology of some words. So we'll go into the etymology of eugenics. Now, the word eugenics comes from two Greek words meaning good genes, or as they have it there, good stock, good in birth, good in genes, okay? Or a good creation. In other words, it's trying to control and manufacture what you want in the birth of and in the development of a child or children or a population for that matter. So it is an attempt to control the growth and development of people. And if you notice, it comes from Charles Darwin's cousin, this individual. Okay? So it's kind of related to Darwinianism, which is survival of the fittest, but also trying to create the fittest, trying to create an entire population based on the characteristics that are desired by the controllers. So on one side of life, the side of birth, we have eugenics. Now we've got to go to the next side, and that is the end. And that would be euthanasia. Euthanasia. Again, coming from two Greek words, youth, EU, good, thanasia, or thanatos, good death. Creating a good death. Well, in other words, it's controlling people, sending them out, doing things deliberately to bid them farewell from this life, to give them a death. Now, the word good death is a misnomer, because if you do anything to hasten it, it's not really a good death, because a good death is actually just a death that comes by God in His way, in His time. As it says in the Bible, there's a time to be born and a time to die. And that's all in God's hands. But the controllers want to control the population through euthanasia and through eugenics. So this would be on the side of birth and early development, and this would be on the side of later in life towards death, making death come along more quickly. And by the way, P.S., that's exactly what we're involved in right now with the current hoax lie situation. So let's go back to the comment that was made by "This place is ludicrous." A very interesting and very good comment. So I'm going to suggest the possibility that in a way it's getting rid of a righteous seed and welcoming an unrighteous seed, if I'm following correctly what "This place is ludicrous" is saying. So to do that, we will look a little bit at this article here. It talks about the conflict of the seeds in the book of Genesis, that there was the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. So there's a good line and there's a bad line. There's a good seed and a bad seed. Now, of course, the seed of the woman would be those who come to know they're sinners and give their life over to God and have a righteous life in Jesus Christ, because He sent God, His Son, born of a woman. So there was the seed of Eve and the seed of the serpent. Now those two clash, okay? And there are children of God and children of the devil. Now, what has happened is, I think that they are so much in control of programming lives and programming people that the controllers are confident that it's okay now to have a lot of births, because you don't have families staying centered in the Bible. You don't have families attending to good morals. That the family has been corrupted. All right? Now, I know that's not true of every family, and I'm not trying to offend anybody that's listening to this, because in many ways, if you're listening to this, You may have been of a good family. All right? But maybe the devil now is given the authorization for increase of birth. And why? Because as they're born into this world, they will just actually become more seed for the serpent. Because there's nobody fighting them anymore. Nobody fighting the serpent and saying, I don't want my child to fall into these abominations. Now, I exaggerate a little bit, and I know there are those out there that do fight, but the numbers have declined, all right? So, if I'm reading this correctly as to what is being said, it might be along the lines that I was talking about, that it's now a good thing for babies to be born because the controllers are quite certain they will be in control of that child's life. All the explosion of mass media and the complete acceptance of abominations will almost ensure that a child that is now born will fall under the category of the seed of the serpent. Now, there are exceptions, and I do want to say one other thing before we look at my reply, and that is God always has a remnant. There's always a group of people that, although they might be small, they will not give in to the world. They will not give in to the devil. They will not accept abominations. And I hope that you're in that category. I am, and I want to be for the remainder of my life. I want to be. I want to be in that remnant, that small group. All right? So there's always a remnant. Now, for the most part, if you go by statistics, a remnant is just 10%. So what it might mean is about 90% of the children born will just immediately fall under the seed of the serpent. Now, I'm speculating, and I'm trying to build on what this individual has written. All right, and I do want to thank anyone who watches, and especially if you comment, because I enjoy reading your comments, and I enjoy trying to respond to them. So this is how I responded, and yes, now that the world is spinning out of control, much like the days of Noah, the birth of fallen humanity is welcomed. The more evil, and the evil one demands forever, great thinking dominates. The more evil, thus more evil, and the evil one will dominate forever. Okay, so what I'm getting at there is the devil wants this new age, the age to come, but it belongs to Christ. But if the devil is thinking, I'm going to have more recruits for my army, then I can control this age as it moves on into forever. In other words, I will forever remain the ruler of this earth. That is incorrect, because Christ is coming. And when Christ comes, it will all be over. The devil will be thrown into the abyss for 1,000 years, and then the devil will be thrown into the lake of fire forever. So, this place is ludicrous. Thank you for your comment, and I hope I built upon what you've said, that the devil wishes to have more children. And you can see that in the book of Acts, when the apostle had to speak up and say, you are a child of the devil and an enemy of everything that is right, and you are full of all kinds of deceit and trickery. Will you never stop perverting the right ways of the Lord? And that was spoken to a magician or a sorcerer in a very powerful way. So there are children of God and children of the devil. Now, they're not as all obvious as this one in the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 10. It's not at all extremely obvious like that one. But this place is ludicrous. You made a really good comment, and I do want to thank you, because it is a little puzzling now that the Supreme Court has decided that it's not going to make it a constitutional right and leave what's called abortion in the hands of the states to decide. So if you get a chance, take a look at that video and contemplate the comments that were made by this place is ludicrous. I'd like to do more videos on your comments, because I really want to thank you, whoever you are, for watching and taking the time and effort to make a comment. God bless. This concludes the video.